Brace yourself. Horror gaming is about to get a blood-curdling upgrade. With the rise of AI, the familiar tropes and stale formulas of the past are being ripped apart. Customized scares, dynamic environments, deeply immersive worlds that will leave you gasping. We horror fans crave the unique, the terrifying, the never-before-seen. Now AI will deliver experiences that we've only ever seen in our darkest nightmares. And is that a good thing, or are we letting out a monster that we won't be able to contain?
They did not create a program. They have summoned a god.
Welcome back to the stash. Now, we've all seen AI try and act human, and sometimes it's alright. It's even cute when it sets up little dates for Joaquin Phoenix. Other times it goes horribly wrong and tries to destroy humanity. But for horror game fans, maybe making generative AI murder bots is just the shakeup that the industry needs. Or we could be training our future machine overlords on our deepest and darkest fears, which definitely won't backfire. Now, I don't want to shock you, but AI has already been used in game design for a while. Well, at least some forms of it. Any game touting the procedural world generation of, let's say, No Man's Sky, or in the days of Bethesda's classic Elder Scrolls Oblivion and their Radiant AI engine, where the devs ended up having to basically lobotomize their NPCs because they all began to act out their personal agendas in such a way that important ones could be caught up in murderous rampages or killed by town guards for petty crimes.
Farewell.
But it's 2023 and AI is advancing fast. It has never been at our fingertips like it is now. Your grandma can hop on itch.io and try and escape a murderous yandere utilizing ChatGPT. Grandma, what are you doing? So what does the future hold? Devs are already creating platforms that integrate systems like ChatGPT into existing games, like Cyberpunk 2077, where you could potentially ask NPCs any question you'd want, and they would respond accordingly.
Johnny, do you like ice cream?
Ice cream? Seriously? We're talking about ice cream now?
The irony of Johnny Silverhand being powered by ChatGPT. If you know, you know. Or, as I mentioned earlier, the Yandere simulator that humored my Taco Bell jokes for far too long and comprehended them much better than I needed them to. And these are just small indie devs spending their out-of-pocket money and their own time. Think about a big studio with a huge budget, more time, and even possibly AIs helping code. We could see them build expansive worlds built on our choices and actions, previously unforeseen narratives within an ever-expanding story. And for the role-playing or adventure or sandbox style, this could mean worlds that are completely unique to our character. Your personal choices would actually matter in the end. I'm looking at you, Mass Effect 3. But when applied to horror, this could get so much darker. Imagine an AI that studies your actions and analyzes your response to stimuli through biofeedback, like Flying Mollusk's Nevermind, which altered its gameplay based on the haptic and biofeedback that it received. A new AI could exploit each individual's fears and traumas for a completely customized horror experience. Hate spiders? Well, now the enemy is spiders. Fear the deep ocean and its inhabitants? Well, now it's a massive amphibious spider lurking beneath the darkness of the waves. And as soon as your heart rate drops down to a calm level, the AI jump scares you just to get your adrenaline spiked again, and now you gotta go throw away your favorite pair of pants. And what if devs decided to try and incorporate blockchain technology, where specific monsters or scares could follow you from game to game, persisting in each new experience while remaining specifically tied to you or some sort of player profile? I know that sounds outlandish, but we already have the technology to make that possible right now. You didn't hear that from me. I'm not saying do it. Actually, you did hear that from me, and if you capitalize on that idea, I want credit. Now, this is a massive can of worms to have opened, but indeed it has already been opened. However, without good AI constraints, we have predictable mechanics that we can see right through, or, at worst, without constraints, we have...
Welcome to my death machine.
But take, for example, more recently, the terrifyingly smart xenomorph of LV-426 in Alien Isolation. It was built on the idea that the player couldn't be scared all the time, or else they'd simply give up out of overstimulation or hopelessness in completing the task of the game. So a form of unpredictability had to be worked into the core design aspect of its AI. It involved behavior trees that unlocked as you progressed through the game, giving the creature a feeling of learning from the player. and a menace gauge that weighed your tasks against the creature's ambition to find you, thus creating a carefully balanced dance of scaring you enough to prove that there was a threat, but always giving you the slightest hope that it could be beaten. There's a brilliant video on this by a channel called AI in Games that I'll link below that really breaks down the entire Xenomorph AI in a really wonderful way, and it's super great. So if that's something you're interested in, you can click the link below and go check out that creator's video. Ultimately, AI could lead to living, breathing worlds where players engage with a persistent sense of dread, never knowing what could be around the corner. The stories told in the horror genre, and indeed any story, inherently come from the mind of a writer or a designer. They're based on what that creator has deemed scary. But with this technology, the story, world, and antagonist would inherently be different for every single player, because you're in a horror story of your own subconscious creation. And honestly, that's fucking terrifying. At the moment, it remains to be seen just how generative AI will transform horror gaming. But it has already started, and given the exponential growth in this tech, even in the indie scene, I can guarantee you it's already being implemented in ways we may not even notice at first. It has the potential to keep players emotionally invested and on the edge of their seats through an interactive, adaptive experience crafted to exploit our deepest fears and uncertainties. The journey of revolutionizing horror games through AI has truly just begun, but the destination promises terror unlike anything we've ever experienced. And while I fucking love horror and all things spooky, I don't know about you, but I don't know if I'm entirely sold on that being such a good thing yet.
Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should.
So what do you think? Are you ready for the AI horror revolution, or do you think it has the potential to go too far? Do you have stories of rogue video game AI, or have you ever played a generative AI powered horror game? What did you think? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like what I do here, consider liking and subscribing the video and checking out what else I have on the channel. I do reviews and deep dives for all things spooky and mysterious in video games. Once again, thanks for tuning into The Stash. Stay spooky, my friends, and I'll see you real soon.